Up while above the fountain there was an altar to the nymphs, at which all wayfarers used to sacrifice. Here Melanthius, son of Dolius, overtook him as he was driving down some goats and that is for the suitors' dinner, and there were two shepherds with him. When he saw Eumaeus and Odysseus, he reviled them with outrageous and unseemly language, which made Odysseus very angry. There you go, cried he, a precious pair you are. See how heaven brings birds of the same feather to one another. Where, pray, master swineherd, are you taking this poor miserable object? It would make anyone sick to see such a creature at a table. A fellow like this never won a prize or anything in his life, but will go about rubbing his shoulders against every man's doorpost and begging, not for swords and cauldrons like a man, but only for a few scraps not worth begging for. If you would give him to me for hand on my station, he might do clean out the folds, or bring a bit of sweet feed to the kids, and he could fasten his pies as much as he was pleased on way. But he was taken to bad ways, and did not go about any kind of work. He will do nothing but beg victuals all the town over to feed his insatiable belly. I say therefore, and it shall surely be, if he goes near Odysseus' house, he will get his head broken by the stools they will fling at him till they turn him out. On this, as he passed, he gave Odysseus a kick on the head of Hyrcanus, but Odysseus stood firm and did not budge from the path. For a moment he doubted whether or no to fly at Melanthius and kill him with his staff, or fling him to the ground and beat his brains out. He resolved, however, to endure it and keep himself in check. The swineherd looked straight at Melanthius and rebuked him, lifting up his hands and praying to heaven. As he did so, fountain nymphs, he cried, children of Zeus, if ever Odysseus burned your thigh bones covered with fat leather, or lambs or kids, grant my prayer that heaven may send him home. He would soon put an end to the swaggering threats with which such men as you go about insulting people, gathering all over the town while your flocks are going to ruin there through bad shepherding. Then Melanthius, the goatherd, answered, you ill-conditioned cur, what are you talking about? Someday or other I will put you on the board ship and take you to a foreign country where I can sell you and pocket the money you will fetch. I wish I were as sure that Apollo would strike Telemachus dead this day, or the suitors would kill him, as I am that Odysseus would never come home again. With this he left them to come at home on their leisure, while he went quickly forward and soon reached the house of his master. When he got there, he went into the thickest seats among the suitors opposite Eurymachus, who liked him better than many of the others. The servants brought him that portion of the meat, and an upper woman servant set bread before him that they might eat. Presently Odysseus and the swineherd came up to the house and stood by it, amid a sound of music, for Eumaeus was just beginning to sing to the suitors. Then Odysseus took hold of the swineherd's hand and said, Eumaeus, the house of Odysseus is a very fine place. No matter how far you will go, you will find people like it. One building keeps falling on after another. That court has a wall with battlements all around it. The doors are double folding and of good workmanship. It wouldn't be a hard matter to take it by force of arms. I perceive too that there are many people banqueting within it, for there is a smell of roast meat, and I hear a sound of music which the gods have made to go along with feasting. Then Eumaeus said, you have received all right, as indeed you are generally do, but let us think what will be our best course. Will you go inside first and join the suitors, leaving me here behind you, or will you wait here and let me go in first? I do not wait longer, someone may see you loitering outside and throw something at you. Consider this matter, I pray you. And Odysseus answered, I understand indeed, go in first and leave me here where I am. I am quite used to being beaten and having things thrown at me. I have been so much buffeted that in war and by sea that I am case hardened, and this too may go with the rest. But a man cannot hide away the carvings of a hungry belly. This is an enemy which gives much trouble to all men. It is because that ships are fitted out to sail the seas and to make war upon other people. As they were thus in talking, the dog that has been lying asleep raised his head and pricked up his ears. This was Argos, whom Odysseus had read before setting out for Troy, but he had never had any work out of him. In the old days he used to be taken out by young men when they went hunting wild goats or deer or hares, and now that his master was gone, he was lying neglected on the heaps of meal and cow dung that lay in front of the stable doors, so the men should come and drive away to manner the great clothes, and he was full of fleas. As soon as he saw Odysseus standing there, he dropped his ears and wagged his tail, but he could not get close up to his master. When Odysseus saw the dog on the other side of the yard, he dashed it here from his eyes without Eumaeus seeing it, and said, Eumaeus, what a noble hound that is over yonder on the manure heap. His build is splendid, and he is as fine a fellow as he looks, or is he only one of those dogs that come begging about the table and are kept merely for show? This hound, answered Eumaeus, belonged to him who has died in a far country. If he were what he was when Odysseus left for Troy, he would soon show you what he could do. There was not a wild beast in the forest that could get away from him when he was once on its tracks, and now he has fallen on evil times, for his master is dead and gone, and women take no care of him. Servants never do their work when their master's hand is no longer over them, for Zeus takes half the goodness out of a man when he makes a slave of him. As he spoke, he went inside the building to the cloister where the suitors were, but Argos died as soon as he had recognized his master. Telemachus saw Eumaeus long before anyone else did, and beckoned him to come and sit beside him, so he looked about and saw a seat lying near where the carver sat. Serving out their portions to the suitors, he picked it up and brought it to Telemachus' table and sat down opposite him. Then the servant brought him his portion and gave him bread from the bread basket. Immediately afterwards, Odysseus came inside looking like a poor miserable old beggar, leaning on his staff and with his clothes all in rags. He sat down upon the threshold of an ashwood, just inside the doors leading from out to the inner court, and against a barren post of cypress wood, with the carpenter had skillfully planned and had made to join truly with rule and line. Telemachus took a whole loaf from the bread basket with as much meat as he could hold in his two hands, and said to Eumaeus, take this to the stranger, and tell him to go round to the suitors and beg from them. A beggar must not be shamefaced. So Eumaeus went up to him and said, stranger, Telemachus sends you this and says you are to be round the suitors, begging for beggars must not be shamefaced. Odysseus answered, may King Zeus grant all happiness to Telemachus and fulfill the desire of his heart. Then with both hands he took what Telemachus had sent him and laid it on the dirty old wallet at his feet. He went on eating it while the bard was singing, and just finished the dinner as he left off. The suitors applauded the bard, whereon Athena went to Odysseus and prompted him to beg pieces of bread from each one of the suitors, that he might see what kind of people they were, and tell the good from the bad. But come from what might, she was not going to stay of a single one of them. Odysseus therefore went on his round, going from left to right, and stretched out his hands to beg as if he were a real beggar. Some of them pitied him and were curious about him, asking another who he was and where he came from. Whereon goatherd Melanthius said, suitors of the noble mistress, I can tell you something about him, for I have seen him before. The swineherd brought him here, but I know nothing about the man himself, nor where he comes from. On this Antinous began to abuse the swineherd. You precious idiot, he cried, what have you brought this man to town for? Have we not tramps and beggars enough already to pester us as we sit at meat? Do you think it a small thing that such people would rather here to waste your master's property, and you must needs bring this man as well? And Eumaeus answered, Antinous, your worth is good, but your words evil. It was no doing of mine that he came here, who is likely to invite a stranger from a foreign country, unless it be one of those who can do public service as a seer, a healer, a herds, a carpenter, or a bard, who can charm us with his singing. Such men are welcome all the world over, but no one is likely to ask a beggar who will only worry him. You are always harder on Odysseus' servants than any of the other suitors are, and above all on me. But I do not care so long as Telemachus and Penelope are alive and here. But Telemachus said, hush, do not answer him. Antinous has the bitterest tongue of all the suitors, and he makes others worse Then, turning to Antonius, he said, Antonius, you take as much care of my interest as though I were your son. Why should you want to see the stranger turned out of the house? Heaven forbid, take something to give it to him yourself. I do not grudge it. I bid you take it. Never mind my mother nor any of the servants in the house, but I know you will not do what I say, for you are more fond of eating things yourself than of giving them to other people. What do you mean, Telemachus? Replied Antonius. This is swaggering talk of all the suitors we could give him as much as I will. He would not come here again for another 3 months. As he spoke, he drew the stool on which he rested his dainty feet from under the table and made as though he would throw it Odysseus, but the other suitors all gave him something and filled his